covering all your local high school football games with highlights and scores. Now, Football Friday, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. Welcome into Week 10 of the high school football season and Week 11 of WVUA 23's Football Friday. Remember, Week 0 was the first week of the season. Our show is presented by Alabama Credit Union. Visit alabamacu.com to learn more. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. Football Friday is 1 hour again this season. And tonight, the final week of the regular season, we have highlights from 14 high school football games from last night and tonight, plus our complete Football Friday high school scoreboard presented by Beulah Baptist Church, our Football Friday Band of the Week, our premier service company Outside the Huddle feature, recruiting tales around the SEC, and more. And we begin with our Watley Health Services Game of the Week.
Now, the Game of the Week, brought to you by Watley Health Services.
Thursday night showdown. The head coaches, Northside's Robbie Jones and ACA's Austin Grammer, meeting pregame 4A Power versus 5A Power. And in fact, Northside came in 9-0 looking for a 10-0 perfect season, but ACA would be no pushover. But watch this. Opening kick of the game, and Evan Taylor has got reservations for 6. The Rams, wow, you can't start any better than that as they take the opening kick back for a touchdown. ACA, though, has the response. Patriots running back Christian Davis is going to power across, and we're tied at 7. Northside, though, the offense for the Rams was rolling early on. Bennett Greene caps off a drive to make it 14-7, Northside. Later in the second quarter, it's Greene again. Man, this guy is powerful and fast. It's 14-7. ACO, though, working their way back. A direct snap to Christian Davis, who's in again. It was 28-14, Northside at the half. Setting up for a close second half, not so fast. Northside did last night what they have done all season long. Let's check out the final. The Rams pull away to win it 45-14. They go to 10-0. It's their first perfect regular season in school history, and we're going to have much more on this game coming up later in the show. But the Rams are having a incredible season. Now listen, ACA is having a good season too. Both these teams are region champs. ACA is going to host a playoff game in Class 4A next week, Northside in Class 5A. But last night it was all Northside getting it done up in Samantha, taking down the ACA Patriots. All right, Friday night action. Aliceville traveled over to Greensboro. And a lot of senior nights tonight on the final night of the season. After a Raiders touchdown, Aliceville responds. Running back Keontae Gullery scores from 1 yard out. Missed two-point conversion, made it 6-6. Second quarter, the Yellow Jackets trying to punt, but it's a bad snap. That leads to a safety for Greensboro, and the Raiders go up 8-6. But Aliceville would have the answer. Quarterback Omari Bush gets the big gain inside the 10, and later Bush is going to finish it off with a 6-yard touchdown run. Aliceville went for 2, as you see Bush get it in just inside the pylon. 12-8 Aliceville, but Aliceville has the momentum. Greensboro trying to get back in the game. Amari Long throws it up, and it is picked off by Jamilin Pruitt, and he makes a house call. 37-yard pick six, 20-8, and Aliceville goes on to win it tonight. Big over Greensboro, down in Greensboro, 40-8. The Yellow Jackets take it over the Red Raiders this evening. Pickens Academy playing its season finale tonight up in Carrollton. 0-8 on the season, looking to pick up a first win against Greene County, but Greene County had other ideas. Kelby Snoddy with the excellent vision here, cutting back across the field and getting free for the touchdown. Next possession for Pickens Academy, and the Pirates try to fake the punt, and they have success. Braden Bates finds Griffin Hudson to get the first down, and the Pirates would capitalize on the fake punt. Hudson powering through the defense. He would find the end zone 2 plays later, and Pickens Academy would go up 8-6 after the 2-point conversion. But the Tigers on the move now. But it's an ill-advised throw. Whit Shirley comes away with the interception for Pickens Academy. But Snoddy, though, just too much for Greene County tonight as he had his way, moving the change, powering through defenders, refusing to go down. That's a first down. And Greene County tonight gets the road win up in Carrollton. 34-14 is the final score. All right, big game tonight down in Greensboro. In addition to the Greensboro Red Raiders, The Southern Academy Cougars hosting the Patrician Academy Saints. These two teams really good. In fact, Patrician came in 9-0, but here's Southern Academy on the first play. Kason Sexton ripping off a first down. And the Cougars came out with a great set of scripted plays. And it's Patrick Thomas to Wyatt Martin. And there you see it. The Cougs go up 6-0, but PA, you don't get to be 9-0 without having responses. And fullback Remington he fails to get tackled. And that is a long touchdown run to tie it up at 6. The Saints, once they got the momentum, they would seize it and keep it. Jackson Lindsay this time. He's got reservations for 6, and the Saints are up 12-6. Southern Academy, though, fighting all night long. And their goal line offense right here punches it in, and they get the 2-point conversion to go up 14-12. Could there be an upset brewing? Not so fast. Patrician Academy comes back in this one, despite Southern Academy trying to pull out all they had in the arsenal, trick plays included. But Patrician gets the win tonight, 25-14, and they finish the regular season unbeaten ahead of the AISA state playoffs. All right, Victory Christian Lions going up to Berry and Fayette to take on the Berry Wildcats. And after a 3-and-out from both teams, Berry running back Lake Norris takes the handoff, cuts it back, and then just outruns everybody until he needs to run over them. He does that too. 55-yard touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion here as Jaden Smith gets it across. A lot of teams go for 2 now. A lot of teams not fooling with kicking anymore. 8-0. Next possession, it's Jaden Smith faking it to Norris and keeping for the first down. Same drive, Smith is going to check it down to number 13, Ashton Waltrip, and that was a good decision. Tight roping his way down the sideline. The 28-yard touchdown put the Wildcats up 16-0 as they got the 2-point conversion again. And right before halftime, Dalton Greene, he gone. A third Wildcat touchdown before the half. A late surge, not enough for the Lions, as the Berry Wildcats win their home finale big over Victory Christian. 46-21 is the final score tonight. Well, as I said at the top, we're combining Thursday night and Friday night highlights as we wrap up the regular season. Last night in Northport, 2 winless teams squaring off as Tuscaloosa County High School welcomed Paul Bryant to campus. One of these teams was guaranteed that they would pick up their first win of the 2025 season. Remember, there are no ties anymore. We'll show you which team came out on top when Football Friday returns right here on WVUA 23.
We are the Isabella Cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23. Go Mustangs!
The Isabella Cheerleaders bring us back into the final regular season edition of Football Friday on WVUA 23. We will be with you next week for the first round of the playoffs. I'm Gary Harris. Let's get right back to the action with another Thursday night game. Paul Bryant at Tuscaloosa County High School last night. Both these teams came in winless, so somebody was going to finish their season with a win. Who would it be? Well, early on, Bryant lines up to punt, but Zy Davis comes in and gets the block, and Reese Glasgow scoops it up and scores. That's the way you like to get a touchdown right there. You don't even make your offense get out on the field. 7-0 Wildcats. Second quarter, the offense is on the field, though, and Corey Kimball, the young quarterback, is really talented. He's going to scoot in from 36 yards out. Wildcats go up 14-0. Paul Bryant trying to get back in the game. Their freshman quarterback, Braden Cheatham, talented. This time he goes over the top and throws into coverage, and it's intercepted by the Wildcats' John Michael Thompson. Third quarter now, and Kimball dropping back to pass and connecting with Aiden Gazywicz. He can not only run it, he can throw it too. 65-yard scoring strike. And County High, it took them a while, but they closed the season with a win. Chris Bell's team gets the victory, 28-7. Kristen Jones at Paul Bryant, he is doing a good job. It's going to take some time there, but Brighter days ahead, I think, for both these programs. But last night, it's County High picking up the victory over the Stampede, 28-7, the final. Northridge at Minor on Thursday night. This was a heck of a ball game. Northridge quarterback Mason Elam got to secure that thing, man. He puts it on the ground, and DeQuayne Johnson recovers for the Purple Tigers. And Minor turns the turnover into points. You see this so often, extra possession, man. And Tommy Burtz is going to find Dominic White. And Dominic White now has got some special talent. He was just getting started. Look at that speed and elusiveness. 7-0. Minor goes on top. Third quarter, Minor up 7-3. Elam makes amends for that fumble. He finds Andrew Espy in the end zone for the Jaguars' first touchdown of the game. Northridge goes on top 10-7. Back and forth we go. Burtz to White again, and look at this guy. I need to find out more about him. He looks like he's got college-level talent to me. He just toys with the defense as he runs away from them. 13-10 after the missed extra point. Purple Tigers back on top. 19-19 now. Elam using his legs. 3-yard touchdown run. And Northridge closes out the regular season in style with a big road win over in Adamsville against Minor High School, 26-25. And that's the way you like to close it out. Not going to the playoffs in Class 6A Region 4, but a good season-ending win for the Jags. Hale County hosting Jemison last night down in Moundville. And Jemison opening it up with a nice drive. Elijah Harris is just going to keep it himself, jump over a defender and punch it in. And Jemison's thinking, hey, man, we may be right for pulling an upset tonight. Hale County says, not so fast. Marcus Bryant Jr. goes over the top with a beautiful throw to Caleb Davis, who squeezes it with his hands, pulls it in. House call for the Wildcats. Second quarter now. And Bryant running the option with the pitch to Kavion Ryans. And this turns out to be a nice chunk play for a first down. Wildcats would score on the drive to go up 28-12. Jemison in striking distance before the end of the first half. Harris looking for the end zone. But here comes that Hale County defense. Justice Jones and Nicholas Webb combine for the sack to stop the drive. And Hale County gets the win. A wild one, 55-42. But the Wildcats win it, and they're going on to the playoffs next week. West Blocton hosting John Carroll Catholic on senior night on Thursday. And, boy, this was a game where John Carroll looked like they were down and out. First possession, quarterback Garrett Barnes is intercepted by West Blockton's Jasper Lightsey to end the drive. West Blocton now on offense. And quarterback Terry Lawley hands it off to Charles Graham. And he's going to bounce it outside for a first down. Now in the second quarter, here's West Blocton finishing it off with Graham getting in the end zone from 3 yards out. Tigers go up 7-0. John Carroll was moving again. But watch this. It's stripped away by Michael Ryan, and it's recovered by Jack Sloan. The scoop and score touchdown makes it West Blocton 14-0. And then the Tigers would cap off the first half with a 25-yard field goal by Brian Orantes. They led 17-0 at the half. Oh, my goodness. They could not hold it. As John Carroll comes from behind as we check out the final in overtime to take it 24-23. Heartbreaking loss for West Blocton last night at home. North River Christian hosting Cornerstone last night here in Tuscaloosa. And North River Christian has had a tough season. A lot of young kids, but I tell you what, they've shown up every week. Unlike some of these schools that when things don't go their way, they start forfeiting games. Not North River Christian. They'd have a tough one last night. T.C. Sanders hits Malachi Adams for a touchdown. 2-point conversion. Cornerstone up 7-0. Then Jaden Dixon to T.C. Sanders. That one goes the distance. It's 14-0. And the visitors from Cornerstone would have their way. Dixon gets it in there on the keeper to make it 22-0. And then right before the end of the half, as Cornerstone is in command, and Malachi Adams, he's wearing number 57, which is an odd number for a guy handling the ball, but You see why they let him handle the ball. He is gone. That made it 38-0, and Cornerstone Christian goes on to beat North River last night, 72-6. But again, I'm going to say this a lot. You're tired of hearing me saying it, I'm sorry. North River Christian showed up every week. Didn't forfeit, didn't say we're not coming to play. That'll pay off for them down the road. Well, later on in the big show, our Abby Award-winning Outside the Huddle feature, plus Rodney Orr's Recruiting Tales, and we'll take a trip around the Southeastern Conference. But up next, more high school football highlights from the final week of the regular season. We'll be right back on Football Friday after this timeout.
We're the Tuscaloosa Academy cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23.
Thank you, Tuscaloosa Academy cheerleaders. Let's get right back to our highlights. Big rivalry game on Thursday night, Oak Mountain at Chelsea. I'll tell you, these two teams, they don't care for each other much. Both sides fired up. You know, we had football weather this week. Last couple nights feels like football weather outside. Here comes Oak Mountain. Marty Myrick's really wants this one bad. He doesn't care that he doesn't have his helmet. He just keeps on running. First down for the Eagles. That led to this. Myrick's punching it across. Again, just refusing to go down. Camera lost it. There he is. He's in the end zone. 7-0 Oak Mountain on top. Chelsea on the move. Logan Strunk rolling right, throwing to Cohen Jones, who will take a big lick. Watch this. But holds on to that football. And then he lets them know about it. He gets the first down. But there would be no points for Chelsea. Oak Mountain, though, gets it back, and they do get points. Last play of the first half, Charlie Vaccarella finds David Knight, who gets behind the defense. You just can't let that happen. 14-0 Oak Mountain at the half, and they go on to get the shutout victory last night, 26-0. The Eagles take it over Chelsea. Bessemer City putting together a fine season. Came in with just one loss last week, or this season. Last night taking on Wenonah. Wenonah running back Jamar Lee. 20-yard run around the left side. Ooh, look at that stick. Tristan Berry with a big pop. Bessemer City's Brandon Gooden Jr., the freshman quarterback. His name's Junior, but he is a freshman, and he takes it 70 yards for a touchdown. And then it's Gooden throwing to Jeremiah Atkins, who weaves through traffic. That's a 40-yard touchdown. This was a good football game, but Bessemer City winds up getting the victory as we check out the final, 19-14 on Thursday night over Wenonah. Back to Friday night action. Piedmont hosting Glencoe. Of course, Piedmont, one of the best programs in the state. Looking to finish off the season with a perfect 10-0 record. Here goes Cole Austin. Punching it across. 2-point conversion's good. Piedmont leads Glencoe 8-0. Chase Kirkpatrick then picks off the Glencoe pass, and he's going to take it back all the way. Pick 6. Piedmont leads 16-0 after the 2-point try was good. And then on Glencoe's very first play after the pick 6, they put it on the ground. Not going to beat Piedmont turning it over like that. 2 plays later, it's Austin again. Another 2-point conversion is good. 24-0 Piedmont at the half, and you can kind of see where this one was going tonight as the Bulldogs post the shutout victory, 46-0 over there in East Alabama tonight to finish off the regular season unbeaten. Westbrook coach Steve Smith used to coach at Piedmont. Westbrook Christian head coach. He's won over 300 games. His team tonight taking on Walter Wellborn. Titus Jones gets the pick on the opening drive. Then Brody Blevins, 15-yard strike to Bo Kilgo. And Westbrook Christian up 10-0 in the first quarter. Defense getting it done all night. Jonathan Hersman gets the sack. And then it's Maximus Jones maximizing that carry for a 17-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Again, it's Jones. This time breaking away from 4 tacklers to get it into the end zone after the catch. 24-0, and they just kept piling it on jet sweep to Brody Johnson. Touchdown still in the second quarter, 31-0. And then one more touchdown before the half as Brody Wood is going to pop off tackle and steer his way clear for a touchdown. 38-0 Westbrook Christian at the half, and to say the least, they go on to win it tonight over Walter Wellborn. 45-0 is that final score. All right, that's going to put a wrap on our high school highlights, but we've still got a lot more to do, including a trip around the SEC and our Abby Award winning Outside the Huddle. But up next, we've got the rest of the scores, at least for those teams that were playing this week. A lot of teams taken by, a lot of teams' season's over. But we'll have the Football Friday and Football Thursday scoreboard presented by Beulah Baptist Church when we return here on WVUA 23. Hillcrest High School, our WVUA 23 Football Friday Marching Band of the Week. All right, welcome back to the show. It's time now to check in on some scores from last night and tonight. And so we're just going to run through them. I don't know if I can remember the ones that were all last night and the ones that are tonight, but we'll just run through them all. This is courtesy of Beulah Baptist Church, our Football Friday scoreboard. So let's just run them down for you, okay? All right, we had Bayside Academy tonight. Wow. That's wow. Tuscaloosa Academy's a good team. It's just, 50-0. TA still going to the 2A state playoffs, but they took a whipping tonight. It was Marion County at home over Lamar County, 40-36 the final in that game. Hubbardville big at Hackleburg tonight, winning by 30, 50-20. Sulligent goes to South Lamar, 42-20 the final in that game. It was Wetumpka last night over Demopolis. Demopolis on the road comes up short down in central Alabama, 23-7 the final. McAdory big over Briarwood, 56-13. Hueytown, how about that? 98 points. That was a heck of a ball game. That one was last night, 50-48 the final score. Meek wins at Carbon Hill, 34-6 the final score. It was Cordova big over Carver, 44-14, and Pell City blows out Southside Gadsden. Big road win for Nick Gentry's team, 54-19 the final. BT Washington over Shades Valley by the final score of 27-13. It was Spain Park taking down Gardendale, 45-17. Helena, too much for Tarrant, 48-7. Fort Payne over Pelham, 28-21. Florence by a point over Oxford in an old defensive game, kind of a throwback football game, 12-11. Sounds like a high-scoring baseball game. Vestavia, too much for Montgomery Catholic, 40-13 the final. It was J.B. Pennington taking down Weaver, 42-14, and R.C. Hatch gets the win because Dallas County forfeited the game, but R.C. Hatch, it's a W. It's in the win column. Wish they could have played it, but forfeits go down as 1-0 victory for the team that was forfeited to. And Dallas County did the forfeit. R.C. Hatch gets the victory. All right, that's a check-in on the Football Friday scoreboard presented by Beulah Baptist Church, but we're not done with high school football because when we come back, Northside wrapped up the best regular season in school history last night with another dominant win, taking down American Christian Academy 45-14. I'll put the Rams' historic season in perspective next on WVUA 23's Football Friday. Welcome back to Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. I'm Gary Harris. Okay, these weeks for a sportscaster, and I know for coaches and players during football season are long. The weeks are long, but yet the season just flies by. It seems like just yesterday we were kicking off the high school football season, and tonight the regular season came to an end. Now, our Watley Health Services game of the week was last night between Northside and ACA, two region champs. And this game up at Northside was a very competitive game for a half. But Northside is having one of those seasons that there's no other way for me to say this other than they have been dominant. 28-14 at half. They shut out ACA, a good football team. ACA is a region champ as well. Now, Northside is 5A and ACA is 4A. But they shut them out in the second half 17-0 to win 45-14. Now, Northside goes to 10-0 on the season, which is a remarkable accomplishment in its own right. But listen to these numbers. The Rams outscored their opponents this season 496 to 102. So averaging over 49 points a game, giving up just 10 points a game. That is domination. Now, Robbie Jones and the Rams will host Beauregard next week in the first round of the Class 5A state playoffs. And ACA, Austin Grammer's team, don't count them out in Class 4A. Again, they ran into a buzzsaw last night, but they don't have to worry about seeing Northside again because Northside's in a higher classification. ACA will host Tallahassee in the first round of the 4A state playoffs. I think both these teams have an opportunity to make a deep run in their classifications. And I'm glad they played this game last night. It would have been easy for these two schools to say, you know what, we'll play easier competition, or we'll take a bye week like a lot of teams did. But instead they played each other. It was good for the community. It was good for the two student bodies. It was good for those two football teams. I guarantee you both of them got better last night playing that game, setting themselves up for a playoff run beginning next week. All right, when we come back here on Football Friday, our Abby Award-winning Outside the Huddle feature, and Stu McCann has a really special story for you tonight, an inspirational story. You'll want to stay tuned for that when Football Friday returns.
We are the Morgan Academy Cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23. Let's go, Morgan!
Welcome back to WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. And it's time now for our Abby Award-winning feature, Outside the Huddle, presented by Premier Service Company. I've had a lot of people tell me that the best part of Football Friday for them is Outside the Huddle. We've been doing it for several years. As I mentioned, it's won an Abby Award, and we've had a lot of fun putting these pieces together. Long-form storytelling. You don't get that everywhere anymore. But we sure have enjoyed bringing it to you. And tonight, the story of a young lady whose courage and determination inspired the Northridge football team and showed them that quitting is never an option. Here's Football Friday's Stu McCann.
When Libby Salter returned home last week, there was a hero's welcome waiting for her.
When I turned the corner and saw all the people lining the street that just found out she was coming home within that 2-hour span, because we only found out that soon.
The amount of people that line the street don't begin to illustrate the reach and impact of her story. You don't have to know Libby to love her.
You didn't really know Libby before this. Like you said, you may have met her like one time.
No, I didn't really know her at all.
Landon Salter knew her story. In May, the 10-year-old from Prattville was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, a blood disorder where the body's bone marrow cannot produce enough blood cells, leaving you tired and more prone to infections. In times like this, you need a big heart and a bigger sticker.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it from definitely far away. I mean, you can see it. Like it's a decent sized sticker. You can see it.
Salter and the Northridge football team have carried the Prayers for Libby sticker on their helmet all season. Salter borrowed the logo, which was designed by Libby's family. He chose the color, needing to find the desired effect.
if you can't see pink, then, you need glasses. Somebody's got to ask at one point. It's just like, hey, what's the pink on their helmets? Like, what's it stand for? And they're going to keep asking. It's going to keep spreading until they ask somebody who knows, and they'll tell them what happens. And then that's going to encourage them, just like, wow, like, I didn't know that they have, this going on. Like, I haven't heard about it. Like, I want to get to know more.
In 2 days, I think I ordered 50 the first go round, and in 2 days, he was like, Mom, we're out of stickers. We need some more stickers.
The stickers were just the start. Northridge football gave her a purple Jaguar, a football signed by the team, a helmet, and the game ball from its season opening win over Calera. Then other groups at the school joined in with items like Starbucks gift cards and cookies. Reminders to Libby that she is not alone in her fight.
All kinds of Northridge swag. She's got pom-poms. She's got ribbons, the whole 9 yards. So we hope that we at least made another Northridge fan.
There's a Northridge High School football helmet that sits in Libby's room. Every time she goes out of her room, she pats it on the head, pats that football helmet, and she thinks about Landon and that football team and knowing that there's people that really do care that she's never even met.
While Landon and his teammates are lifting up Libby, Northridge football is showing the same warmth to Salter. His family moved from Prattville to Tuscaloosa over the summer. The locker room embraced him by embracing this cause.
When I brought up the idea, they're like, absolutely. I mean, like, this is God's word. If that's what you think, then we need to do it. Like, because this is God telling us that we need to do something for her. I love her. The whole team here loves her. They ask me every day about her, like what she's going through. I know she just recently got home, so I've been telling everybody that. And we had a party in the locker room yesterday about it.
Libby remains quarantined while the bone marrow transplant takes effect and helps build up her body's blood cell count. Her dad says hopefully in March she will be able to have visitors. Then the little girl, who her parents say loves nothing more than to give out hugs, will have a lot of catching up to do.
Special stuff right there. I really enjoyed that. Hope you did as well. Coming up, how Puppy Love helped Alabama football land a star offensive lineman. That's in Rodney Orr's Recruiting Tales. And Alabama football players get some time off. We'll be right back. Join me in wishing a very happy birthday to Nick Saban, number 74. Coach was born October 31st, 1951 in Fairmont, West Virginia. He's widely considered to be one of the greatest football coaches of all time, maybe even the greatest of all time. Of course, Coach Bryant, who coached at Alabama, is also in that conversation. Nick Saban retired with an overall college head coaching record of 292 wins, 71 losses, and 1 tie across 28 seasons at Toledo, 1 year, Michigan State, 5 years, LSU, 5 years, and, of course, Alabama, 17 years. Saban won 7 national championships, 6 here in Tuscaloosa, and 1 down in Baton Rouge. Happy birthday, Coach. Yeah, I'll say it. He is the GOAT. And welcome back to Football Friday here on WVUA 23. I'm Gary Harris. Mission accomplished for Alabama football. After dropping that season opener at Florida State, 31-17, you know what? It wasn't looking good. Just one game. But, boy, everybody was being negative, didn't expect that loss. But Alabama rebounded and won 7 in a row to reach their second bye week with a 7-1 record. More importantly, 5-0 in the SEC.
I think the experiences we've had since then, where we have come through and found a way and understand getting points at the end of a first half, and we didn't separate ourselves the way I'd like. In fact, we fell behind, but we've knowing that we've scored a lot of points over the course of the year, and all you need is one touchdown drive. Now, again, that's easier said than done against a really good defense, but again, it's the resiliency piece. It's leave it all on the football field and have no regrets.
That 29-22 comeback win over South Carolina this last weekend in Columbia. Think about what that means. You go into this bye week with so much momentum, feeling good. Had they lost that game, I guarantee you, the feeling here in Tuscaloosa would be completely different, but they did not. And now they get the bye weekend, and then next Saturday night host LSU as they begin the 4-game stretch run until the end of the regular season. Well, it's time now for Recruiting Tales with Tider Insider's Rodney Orr. Tonight, how some puppy love helped Alabama land star offensive lineman Justin Smiley.
So I'd been calling Justin every week, and every week it was a different school was the leader. It was Auburn, it was South Carolina, it was Florida, it was Alabama, and then he would go back to one of the others. So eventually one day, as the process kind of evolved, I decided to call his high school coach and to see what his high school coach might think. Well, during the conversation, the coach told me, he said, by the way, Justin didn't make it to school today. And I'm thinking, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to call Justin at home and maybe get an interview with him. So I call his home, and I didn't get Justin, I got his mother. And I asked her, I said, you know, just kind of what are your thoughts on Justin's college decision? And she said, well, if it's up to me, I know he's not going to Florida. And I said, well, wait a minute, it's between Alabama and Florida. You're saying he's not going to Florida? She said, not if it's up to me. And I said, well, why not Florida? And she said that the previous week when Steve Spurrier had come to visit, to make his in-home visit, that her baby lab, Drake, had jumped up in Coach Spurrier's lap and began to lick him, and Coach Spurrier got upset about it. And he asked her, would she please put the dog in the laundry room until he left? And that really upset her. She said, can you believe Coach Spurrier wanted me to put my baby, pin my baby up in the laundry room? And so the first thing I did when I get off the phone with his mother is I call an Alabama assistant coach and I say, hey, whatever you do, when Dubose goes to visit the Smiley home, make sure he loves on Drake.
Coach Spurrier, one of the best. The ball coach could coach with anybody, but he ought to know better. You got to show the dog some love. That'll come back and bite you, pardon the pun, and it did in that case. When we return, we'll go around the SEC and check in on the weather and our game day forecast. Football Friday's coming right back. And welcome back to Football Friday. I'm Gary Harris. As we've already discussed, Alabama is off this weekend, but there are still some very interesting and big matchups on Saturday in the Southeastern Conference. Football Friday's Catherine Mintel takes us around the SEC.
The Tide is off this Saturday, but it's yet another busy weekend, so let's take you around the SEC. The 9th-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores will travel to Austin, Texas to take on number 20 Texas. Vanderbilt is in the top 10 for the first time since 1937, and Heisman contender quarterback Diego Pavia is the heart of this team. Pavia dove across the goal line for the game-winning touchdown against number 15 Missouri last week and ranks second in rushing in the SEC. The Commodores have the second highest scoring offense in the SEC and a school record 3 top 25 wins. However, Texas holds one of the SEC's best defenses. While its offense isn't stellar, it's a resilient one. Texas has come back from 2 17-point deficits in the fourth quarter this season, including an overtime win over Mississippi State. Both were led by quarterback Arch Manning, who is in concussion protocol. If Manning doesn't return, transfer QB Matthew Caldwell will get the start.
You ever watched our sidelines in game? 18 is probably the most engaged player on that sidelines. He's always picking guys up, offense, defense, special teams. And so he's got a really good relationship with the guys. And so I don't think it's like, well, who's this guy?
On the other side of the country, one of the oldest college rivalries will happen in Jacksonville, Florida, as number 5 Georgia meets Florida. The Bulldogs have dominated, winning 7 of the last 8 convincingly. Coming off a bye and a 43-35 win over number 5 Ole Miss, Georgia stays in the playoff hunt alongside QB Gunnar Stockton completing over 70% of passes with an offense that averages over 30 points per game. Florida, however, is 3-4 and recently fired Billy Napier. Interim head coach Billy Gonzalez takes over with Ryan O'Hara, who now calls plays in hopes to improve the struggling offense. Finally, in one of the harshest environments in college football, number 14 Tennessee will host number 18 Oklahoma. The Sooners have the SEC's most total and top-scoring defense. On the other sideline, the Volunteers counter with the most total and top-scoring offense in the conference.
The teams that win the explosive play battle are going to give themselves an opportunity to, win the game. And that's not certainly the only category, but one that we put a lot of time on staying on top of, the football, both in run defense and pass defense.
The offense is led by Joey Aguilar, who is statistically one of the best in the SEC. However, he will be met by a defense known for attacking the QB. The Sooners have the most sacks per game in the country and the most QB pressures in the SEC. Both teams' playoff chances are on the line, and Saturday will define them. That'll do it for Around the SEC for Football Friday. I'm Catherine Mantell.
Thanks, Catherine. Now, with Alabama not playing, obviously there's no game day forecast for the Crimson Tide, but there are other teams of interest playing on Saturday. Plus, I know you want to know what the weather is going to be like here in West Alabama. Here's WVUA 23 weather specialist Luke Beitzel with our game day forecast.
Well, the temperatures are going to be quite lovely in Arkansas for that MSU-Arkansas game. 3 p.m. is that kickoff, 54 degrees. We're not expecting any rain if you have any plans going out to Arkansas. But as we progress down into 7 p.m., you see I'm definitely expecting at least a drizzle by the fourth quarter at the end of the game. I'll say 40%. It depends on how early it comes and how much rain it rains on them. But moving to Auburn, Auburn's at home against Kentucky here. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Partly cloudy skies. We're not expecting any precipitation with this game. 62 degrees to start off, but as that sun sets, those clouds are going to dissipate, and around 10:30, around the fourth quarter, temperatures should be in the lower 50s, maybe even the upper 40s for that game. So it could be a little breezy out there, a little chilly as well. But turning our attention to UWA, it's starting off at noon with great clear conditions. Honestly, perfect weather for some great football. 68 degrees, pushing up to the lower 70s by the end of the game. You can see 4 p.m. right there. Partly cloudy skies could push into the area for southern Georgia, but we're not expecting any precipitation for that area. Overall, perfect conditions at home as well here in Tuscaloosa. We're seeing those high pressure system moving into our area, going to park over us, giving those warm conditions as well. So there's a look at your game day forecast. If you're going to any of these 3 games, you could be looking at some great weather, and that's the story here in Tuscaloosa as well.
Thank you, Luke. Fall weather, you have to love it. Football weather. All right, a couple of other notes. North Carolina under Bill Belichick. The Tar Heels get a road win in the ACC tonight, 27-10. Maybe they're beginning to turn it around. And in the World Series, the Dodgers forced a Game 7 tomorrow night in Toronto. The Blue Jays were down 3-1, but they had second and third, nobody out in the bottom of the ninth, and the Dodgers got out of it. A Game 7 in the World Series. Doesn't get any better than that. Dodgers and Blue Jays tomorrow night. All right, we're going to be here all weekend long. Theodore Fernandez will be in tomorrow night and Sunday night with your sports at 10. Don't have an Alabama game, but we have plenty of other SEC football, plus Bama basketball getting ready to start the season. So we will have all that for you coming up over the weekend. Also, Bama volleyball tonight loses a tough one at Ole Miss. They won the first 2 sets, but dropped the last 3 to lose 3-2 in that match at Ole Miss. All right, that's going to do it for Football Friday. We'll be back again next week with the playoff edition. So the regular season comes to an end, but we've got another Football Friday coming up a week from tonight at 10:30 as we start the state high school playoffs, and we always love Football Friday when it's playoff time. Okay, for everybody here at WVUA 23 and at Football Friday, thanks for tuning in, and a reminder that the show will be available at WVUA23.com and also on our social media platforms. So if you want to watch it again, you will be able to do so. Have a great weekend, everybody. No Alabama football, but give us all a little bit of a break. Talk to you again next week.